So the OTA question is always an interesting one, and I think that there's this notion that when the business gets better or the industry gets in a better stride, that we can just sort of minimize the OTAs. I have a different perspective on that. I think that there's a lot of validity to the billboard effect. I think that people use it as a shopping tool, and until the industry, hotel industry, gets better at educating people on the reasons for using a hotel's direct website, it's still going to be a force that we have to reckon with.
I think we rely on OTAs at some market, but of course we don't want to lose a store. You know, I think I think a reliance on OTAs basically on market to market by season.
We have a sister company called G-Commerce Solutions. They basically yield manage the internet for us, and the whole idea is to bring people to our websites for each of our hotels. So we're less reliant on the OTAs.
Without question, the OTA question relates to, in my opinion, the market that we're in. So in some markets where I have a lot of inventory, more competitive, I'm finding our teams are working aggressively with the OTAs to fill the inventory. It's a very expensive piece of business for us, but in order to fill the rooms, our belief is working with the opaque sites, working with the OTAs in those markets has been fruitful for us and successful for us. But any chance we can to not have to go down those channels and we can close those out, and if the market's strong enough, we're seeing those channels being shut down a lot more often than they were in the past.
Crestline, as a practice, does try to minimize our exposure to OTAs. We do maximize our exposure to other channels that are less costly for the hotel and the booking in our booking reservation systems. To that end, we have found that those other less costly channels have been more productive. When it comes to our competitors, we do underwrite hotels far more frequently. We are finding that competitors are more heavily reliant on OTAs than we feel is needed right now in this stage in the economy. And so it is upside that Crestline can bring to the table for an owner very quickly upon takeover by shifting some of that OTA business to less costly channels.
That question, I think, is a little difficult to answer just quite like that, because the nature of the contracts with the OTAs and the arrangements through the flags, if you're a flag property with the OTAs, you can't turn your availability on and off to them. They've got to have last room availability, so you can't really control your reliance on them, except to the extent that you can make it more attractive to the customer to book directly with you or through your website rather than use the OTA.
The term reliance, relying on OTAs, I don't particularly like that term, because I believe that we look at OTAs, and I don't care whether it's last year, the year before, or the next 5 years. We look at OTAs as another client, another partner that we respect them, we work with them as we would with any client. And I believe in this business you have to look at your vendors, your clients, you have to consider a partnership where we work together as a team. So we believe that they're important. They're big players. All the OTAs are big players in the marketplace, and they're really important, so you got to work with them, and it's a teamwork scenario. And so I don't want to say reliance on them. We've never relied on them. We look at them as we would any other big client.
I would have 3 key points on that. And the first one is we would love to. The second one is we're trying. And the third one is we are reliant on them from a marketing perspective. So I don't think that that will ever go away, although we are trying to manage it, and specifically from a cost of distribution channel perspective?
Absolutely. The OTAs are basically used as an as-needed basis, so it's all tied into the revenue management strategy for the property. So you can turn it on and turn it off when you need it along the way, and hopefully you've got a very good relationship built with the OTAs, so your margins aren't affected by it.